Well, hello there. So today we're going to create a user, um, set a password, and grab the password hash so that we can upload it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a directory temp so I can be in this temp directory on my local system. And I'm going to copy my home SSH ID underscore RSA RSA.pub to here. Just copying it. That way I can come here with my key pairs and I'm going to import a key pair and I'm just going to call this main. This is my main key that I like to use. And I'm going to browse, and if I go to my home, so you can see I can't see my .ssh. So there's some things we could try and fix this so that I could see them, but what I did is I created my temp, T-E-M-P. Where is that home? Temp, right there. No, it's on it. And then here's my RSA pub. So I'll go ahead and import key. And now I have that main. Sweet. So what I can do now, EC2 dashboard, I'm going to create my server, launch instance. And since I'm playing, it can just be a small one. Playing. Everything else should be fine except for key pair, main. Launch instance. And so this is launching. Sweet. So while that launches, let me talk a little bit about passwords. Because passwords are something that a lot of us do wrong, and passwords are broken. We shouldn't use them as the only thing protecting important items. So if you're using a password for like your bank or anything important, you should also have another authentication method, multi-authentication method enabled. It's called multi-factor auth, MFA, or two-factor authentication. So something you know, which is your password, and then something you have. So that can be a text to your cell phone. I don't like that as well either. It's okay. Or an app on your cell phone that has the time-based tokens. I like that a little bit better. So that's a great thing. And then once you've logged in and trusted a device, the fact that you trusted that device, that's a form of authentication. So okay, so I'm in. I have the IPv4 address. I'm going to copy that. And now, since I've put my main one up there, I should just be able to do SSH. And we're doing EC2-user because this is Amazon Linux at and the IP address. And I should be able to get in after it says, are you sure? Yes. Happy day. So if you noticed, I didn't have to do my SSH-I. Now I could exit. I could SSH-I tilde home dot SSH. Is that right? Dot SSH and then ID underscore RSA. So I could do this and do EC2-user at and the IP address. So what I've done here, you'll see that this command up here, SSH EC2-user, is the same as this, except for now I'm telling it directly, I'm telling it exactly what key it's using. Now, this is the default location in Linux for the key. So since it's the default location, I don't technically have to put it here, but I'm going to show you it's going to work because it's the same. Okay. So just because it's the default, I didn't have to worry about it. Cool. So now we're going to add a user. So user add. Oh, I'm going to need to do, sudo user add. And I'm going to call it studentjstrain since this is for me. Enter. So now if I look in, so let's do sudo cat etsy shadow. we'll see that there is a studentjstrain user here. Now, there's not a password right now in Etsy Shadow. So let's actually do sudo passwd, and for this user, studentjstrain, enter. Now, if I didn't do that, it'd be changing root's password. That would be bad. And let's give it a password. Let's make it an okay one. It wasn't good enough. That's okay. And I did it wrong. So let's do this. Okay. So I created a password for it. So if you notice, when I tried to create a password that wasn't too good, it tells me, you really want to do this? Now it lets me, because I'm doing it as root, but that's not a great idea. It's just not. Okay. So I created a better one, and the first time I typed it wrong. So on this first one. So I was able to create a new one. I created a better one. Everything's updated successfully. So I can look here now at Etsy Shadow, and I can see, look, here this is this student. And if you look here, the first part, it is going to be, there's going to be a salt, and then you'll have the password. So, and then of course you have the ID numbers for the user and the group. So, pretty cool. Oh wait, no, that's not user. That's something else. Sorry, I was thinking password file. But yeah, so we have the we have the salt and we have the hash. So I sometimes have my students send me this right here, so we can copy and paste it in, and I crack these passwords to make sure that they chose a good one. So let's talk a little bit about good passwords, and then we'll be done. If you're using something like a word, so this is a bad password. Okay, that's bad. I'm going to Control C. This is one of the most common passwords and is a lot worse. You can make things better. But that's only, that substitution will only get you that far, to a little bit, because if a hacker really wants to crack your stuff and they see your prior passwords and they see you starting to do substitution, they can just test the substitutions. So that's okay, but not great still. I prefer to have a password manager. So I'm just gonna give me a sec. So I'm gonna get into my password manager. And once I'm in, I can have my password manager spit out, so generate a new password for me. And I can have it as long as I'd like. So here's one. And that would be a good password. Oh, I was going to do Control C. But I can just change the varied length. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change the length so it's not as long. In fact, this is my default length right here. Okay. And you see, I can just change it. And then what I do is it would save it for the specific site or whatever I'm doing. And I can grab it from my password manager as needs be. So password managers also have problems in the fact that if a hacker gets into your password manager, they have all your passwords. So password manager should be also be protected with multi-factor authentication, and should always be encrypted. So I hope you've enjoyed that. So today we created a user. That was pretty easy. useradd. We looked at the password in password auth, which is encrypted with the salt. And let me show you one more thing. So if I wanted to, I could sudo, instead of cat, I'm just going to grep student from Etsy Shadow. And I can see that single line. In fact, let's just do pipe word count -L, so you can see it's just one line, even though it's wrapping around. Okay, so I hope you'd enjoyed this, and I hope it's helpful. So we create a user, changed the password. We also uploaded our key. So talk to you later.